There's always a better figure. Whoa. Okay people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Tonight I'm taking a look at the Bandai SH Figuarts Star Wars Qui-Gon Jinn. Now this was a SoWeb exclusive, a little bit harder to get. You had to go through the third-party sites. And this is coming in kinda late. Vives and I, on items like this, usually bundle up, save on shipping to us, and then one or the other gets it. Then I was on the short end this time. It went to him first. Comes to me, but either way I end up with my toys. It's cool. Looking at the package, it looks like most Tamashii Nation's exclusives. No window, you don't see what's inside. I understand these aren't going on store shelves. They don't have to pimp the figure. They've already sold most of what they needed to make. But you get a pretty promotional picture on the front. You get kind of an artsy picture of his alternate head. On the side, essentially the same picture. On the back, more promotional shots. Very nice picture with Darth Maul, but we've seen all these in the solicitations. Down here's the warnings, the unreadables. Probably says something like, you'll have to put the hole in them yourself. On the other side, we get the silver motif we're used to seeing with the Star Wars brand, Star Wars logo. Bottom, you get more unreadables, probably some legalese, probably says something like, why are you looking at the bottom of the box? But I'm going to get this open and see what's going on here. Set of instructions, pretty basic and nothing earth-shattering here. You get a list of all the alternate hands. You see the two faces. They switch out the front of the head, not the hanging down hair in the back, which is cool. Saves them some plastic. Switch out the hands. Pop off, put on. I guess that's saying something. Be careful with that tiny itty bitty peg. Pegging the lightsaber on the belt and then putting the lightsaber in the hand. And there we go, all out of the package. And you knew this was coming. I don't know why I bought the Black Series figure less than a couple of months ago. Don't get me wrong, that's cool, but this is Figuarts, man. You knew, well, at least 90% of the time the Figuarts takes over the shelf. Looking at the sculpt, it's nothing groundbreaking. I mean, if you have the SH Figuarts Mace Windu or you have the SH Figuarts Obi-Wan Kenobi, you essentially know what you're getting here besides the head sculpt. The body, as far as I can tell, is all new, even though it looks almost just like the Mace figure. And you know what? If I'm paying $50, $60 for a figure, it better damn well be a new sculpt. But Mafex has got me a couple of times on the reuse front, so I can't really make that definitive statement. But the wrinkles here are cool. The overall uniform is awesome. I mean, and I call it a uniform, it's Jedi uniform. The sculpt does hinder articulation a little bit in places, but we'll get to that. And then up at the head, this looks great. It's a little bit off, it's not perfect. In fact, mine may slightly be cross-eyed, just barely. I mean, it's only when you get front-on, straight-up pictures. In person, it doesn't look bad, but I've noticed in a couple pictures I've taken, maybe. The hair sculpt is great. The likeness is there for the most part. But if you're not a big fan of that gold tint on top of brown, you're not gonna like this. I've grown okay with it, and they've kind of toned it down. It looks like light shining off of it. Yes, you can tell it's gold, but it's not in your face as that first Luke Skywalker figure. And the hair is sculpted kind of weird, but it's that thing of long hair in plastic form. It's either too stiff and doesn't let the head move around, or it's out of the way but it sticks out, and that's the problem I have here. It kind of flows out. No matter what pose you kick, there's always going to be gaps somewhere. Move the head forward to get the back hair, to get the hair in the back to lay down right, and you have the front sticking out. Kick the head back to get the front looking right, and you get flyaway hair. I figure heating it up and trying to get it to lay down and try to cool it real quick will help a little bit here, but I haven't had a chance to do that yet. Now, essentially, the rest of it, it's damn fine. I like it. Not a lot to gripe about, except for the hands, and that comes down to the fact that there's no paint at all. It is cast in the base flesh skin tone color, and it comes off looking a little bit like Figma, and that's not a bad thing, but you know how Figma is. They cast the plastic in that slightly off skin tone, so it sticks out against his face. You can see the face looks a little bit tanned, a little bit more natural. The hand, not so much. And it's pretty much that way with all the hands, so it just kind of sticks out at you. Now, going over articulation, there's a ball at the top of the neck going down into a ball in the neck, and then another ball at the bottom of the neck. So you do get pretty good range of motion, and the hair doesn't really get in the way. It's pretty soft, it's pretty flexible, so over, down, up. Just amazing range of movement there. And then Swivel. The shoulders are a ball joint going into the torso with a cup coming out to cover the articulation, even though the Jedi robe pretty much does a good job of that. And then it comes out to a hinge and a swivel in the shoulder. So you get up, you get around, you get shift forward, shift back, up and down. It swivels on that shoulder, but there's also a swivel at the bicep. There's a hinge at the elbow, comes up, pretty good range of movement, but like all the Jedi robes that we have in the Figuarts line, if you turn it and try to come back, you're going to snag right there. So be mindful of that whenever you're doing that. You have to straighten it up and then bring the arm down. Swivel hinge swivel at the wrist. It is inside the sleeve, so not as much range of movement as you would think, or as we get with other Figuarts figures, but you get up and down, or you can bring it around and get side to side. And then there's swivel. There's a ball joint in the torso, and the belt and lower tunic piece is pretty soft, so you get forward, you get back, you get side, you get no! It's a dumbbell joint with a ball on top and bottom. There's a drop down joint at the hip. You can bring it down, bring the leg forward, essentially 90 degrees, back, out. The skirt piece does kick it back down a little bit, but it's not terrible. Then you can shift the leg back up in there. There's a swivel. Single knee, it comes up past 90, but he can't get much further than that. It's a dumbbell joint at the ankle, so you do get swivel, you get back, you get forward, and then a little bit of rocker, and then there's a stuck toy joint. Foot came off. It's not actually a dumbbell joint, it's just a ball joint going up into the leg. And then toe joint goes up about right there. For accessories, Qui-Gon comes with several sets of hands. He comes with 2 fists. He comes with 2 splayed out hands. He comes with a set of loose grip hands. He comes with a set of tight grip hands. And then he comes with 2 force wielding hands. And to switch those out, they essentially just pop off. But be careful and look inside the hand when you go to switch them. It's pretty straightforward with the splayed out hands and the force wielding hands and the fists, but when you get to the loose grip hand, the hole goes up towards the pinky, so you have to kind of angle down. And it works out pretty good because even with it going towards the pinky, you can bring the saber straight out. But if you're doing the tight grip hand, the hole goes up towards the thumb. So again, you have to kind of angle up towards that, because if you just start shoving straight on, you may break something. He comes with a lightsaber hilt. It looks good, nice sculpt to it. Qui-Gon's saber is pretty, I'm not going to say dull, it's pretty reserved, I guess you could say. But the silver paint's there, the red button is painted, so great attention to detail there. And it also has a peg on it to hang from his belt. And then of course he comes with the ignited saber. Again, it's, well, pretty much the same sculpt. And even though the picture doesn't show it here, the lightsaber is green. It's just with the blue, it kind of cancels out the color, I guess. And the blade doesn't seem to be removable here. It looks like part of the sculpt. But that's okay because of Qui-Gon's more reserved hilt. There's no flares, there's no sticky outy parts. You can just shove the lightsaber hilt into his hand, even the tight grip. And then his last accessory is an alternate head. The head. It's cool, it's different. It's one very specific moment in the movie, like a split second. I mean, given Qui-Gon's demeanor through most of the movie, which is captured by the first head, I can see why they went here. I can see why they didn't go with, a slightly, well, now that I'm trying to think of it in my head, even lightsaber dueling, he wasn't really, angry or anything. He kept his emotions in check, like a good little Jedi. And to switch that out, I've been popping the head. It's easier to get up under there and split the head in half. And I'll admit, it's kind of tight as hell, which is better. It's better than being a little bit loose and gapping up. But there's a couple of clear pegs to keep it aligned, and then a big flesh chunk. Let's not go any further with that description. But you take the alternate face and just plug it together, and it's tight too. And then you just pop the head back on the ball joint. For comparison, here he is with the Bandai SH Figuarts Episode 1 Obi-Wan. They look great together. They really, really do. But if you like a little bit more height on Qui-Gon, you can shift both legs up, and it doesn't really look out of place. Proportions still look okay. It's all hidden by the skirt piece, so I'm okay with that. But for the rest of these comparisons, I'm going to shift him back down into the normal position. Here he is with the Figuarts Darth Maul. Man, every time I pull this off the shelf, I remember just how kick-ass this figure is. But Ray Park's a short guy, so Bandai seems to have this size problem. It's like they try to keep it within a certain height. The tall characters have to be brought down a little bit. The short characters have to be brought up a little bit. I don't know if it's some kind of internal memo that nobody else knows about. Here he is with the Figuarts Mace Windu, and all my blabbering just now goes out the window because Mace is pretty tall by itself. That's without the shift in his legs being up a little bit. And you can also see that there's no reuse between the two. Even though the belts look damn similar, the pouches are pretty much in the same spot. Pretty much the same pouches, really, but the buckle's different. There's a little bit more space here and there. And then finally, here he is with the Black Series Qui-Gon. The biggest difference here really is skin tone and the details in the eyes. I love the Black Series figure. There's not a huge problem with it, but now that I have it beside this one, yeah, you can see the more lifelike one. So at the end of the day, yeah, this takes the shelf. I wasn't ever in question that it would. And as these pictures come across, again, the black background is Veeb's pictures. I had to seal him. He has a better setup. He has that floor walkway thing that works great. And plus, he has the effect thing for the lightsaber blades. I couldn't help it. But like I said, I do like the Black Series figure, but this just takes it to the next level. Plus, on my shelf, the humans are slowly being taken over by the Figuarts. So this mixes and matches in better with the rest of the human types. The details are amazing. I like my Qui-Gon stoic, so even the head sculpt works. Even if he does look a little bit bored, he's thinking. It's in the background. He's always, you know, considering the future and the present. And this figure captures that. I probably won't be using the alternate head much because I'm not going to pose him with a double-bladed lightsaber sticking through his gut. But really, it's become common habit to not use the second head that comes with the Figuarts figure. But at least it's different enough to notice. It's not just a furrowed brow or just a slightly altered look altogether. You can tell that the alternate head is different. But like I always say, good figure makes me want more. As I was posing this, as I was thinking about it, I need a Watto from somebody. That would be an awesome get. Just him flying in the background. And a Sebulba. We need a Sebulba. I'm going to stop myself before I just start listing random episode 1 characters. Let's just say this is a great figure. Be done with it. So if you like the review, comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.